Welcome to Know Your Business, Client Call to Finished Project. I'm Jim Purdom, Lifestyle and Advertising Photographer Director here in LA. I'm also an APA-LA chapter board member for the last 5 years or so. At APA-LA, we are dedicated to developing events like this in a sustained effort to build knowledge, support, and friendship within our professional photography community. Today's event is free, but we hope you'll also consider the many benefits of becoming a member. Now let me introduce our two guests and then we'll get into today's topic. Dana Hursey is a Los Angeles-based commercial advertising photographer specializing in humor, conceptual, and food. Dana has over 30 years experience in shooting major campaigns for companies such as Lowe's Home Improvements, Disney, Volkswagen, Four Seasons, and United Healthcare. He self-produced for the first half of his career, but then connected with Rebecca for production and never looked back. Rebecca Schatten is a native New Yorker, but started Arpen Productions in Los Angeles in 2006. She has a long history of producing both still and motion content nationally and internationally for a variety of clients, big and small. Now let me turn it over to Dana.
Thanks, Jim. We're excited to be here today and kind of walk through the production process and the way Rebecca and I work. As Jim said, I've been doing commercial photography for a few decades, and yeah, just love the process and love talking about the business aspect of it, and love kind of celebrating what we do. Rebecca, do you want to say a few words about your history?
Sure, absolutely. My name's Rebecca Schatten. I am a producer here in Los Angeles. I started Arpen Productions back in 2006, working for a still life photographer, and I was with him for several years where once I got the swing of things, I grew the need to want to do more. And one day we had a job where we actually hired a producer, and that was my aha moment where I was like, that's what I want to do. And so I did that for a bit, and in about 2004, I moved here to Los Angeles, opened up the second office to said production company that I worked for, and then eventually spread my wings and started my own. And that's where I am now. So I think we should just jump right into it. Yeah?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, here's where things land for me. When I started working, even in the still life studio, I grew up with all the other producers and all the other art buyers, and we got to know each other. And to say that you know, it's a tight-knit crew is an understatement. I know a lot of art buyers who have crossed the country, and we get to talk, we get to get personal, and I know a lot about the background of the bidding process, which I'd love to share with you today. One thing I could kind of, if I was going to give any pearls of wisdom, is to just, you know that a project is in itself a job. Finally get a bite. Someone reaches out to you and asks you about your availability and time. And this is my moment to give you a pep talk. Art buyers are busy people. Agency people are busy people. They're constantly multitasking, and they are talking to you, and they're talking to probably 3 or 4 other photographers at the same time. So my pearls of wisdom really is that you want to make it as delightful to work with you as possible, which means you keep all your questions in one email. You, you know, obviously make it easy for them so that it's easy to work with you. And with that, I think it will help you as a package to sell yourself. They want you to be their problem solver, and they're hoping that, you know, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to be covering, again, kind of a hypothetical. We're going to go through a hypothetical process here, and it is one variation. I mean, there could be a million variations on this. So you shouldn't take any of what we're talking about as gospel, as it has to, this is the only way to execute something. There are a million ways to execute what we're going to be walking through. But I think this kind of will give everybody a general roadmap and some good, you know, generalities as to how to approach things, and also potentially spur on some great questions for the end of the webinar here. So what we are going to cover today is these are some topics. So, you know, before you ask a question, maybe, you know, we'll run through this. We're going to talk about, once you've got that inquiry, what are the next steps? if you start getting asked to sign stuff, what should you do and what types of documents might they ask you to sign? The question, do I need a producer? And if so, when do I bring them in to the process? We'll be covering the creative call, things to ask, things not to ask, both in the creative call and throughout the rest of the process. We'll be looking at a potential treatment. Of course, we'll be looking at estimates and revisions. We'll briefly cover some terms and conditions, talk about the pre-production day, pre-production call, shoot day, which might be the actual shortest topic we discussed today, post-production and delivery, and invoice and collecting. So those are just some general high points of what we hope to accomplish today.